I don't know how Matt Gaetz thought that this wouldn't blow up in his face, but here's what just happened at the Republican National Convention, the RNC. As you know, Matt Gaetz has a long-standing feud with Kevin McCarthy. Gaetz is the reason that McCarthy was ousted as Speaker. McCarthy showed up at the RNC and was being interviewed by CNN, which prompted Gaetz to walk over and do this.
What night are you speaking? Are you speaking tonight? Or one person? No. Hey, you're not. If you took that stage, you would get booed off of it. You would get booed off the stage.
But the problem for Gaetz is what happened from McCarthy's perspective.
Coming back, and then the other part that you have, and the other part you have is one person who raised the issue. He's got an ethics complaint about sleeping with a 17-year-old. So that's the way they would go. So that's the biggest challenge we have.
So while Gaetz was harassing McCarthy off camera, the part that was actually captured on camera, live on CNN for the entire world to see, was McCarthy saying that Gaetz is salty because there is an ethics complaint against him for paying for sex with a minor, and McCarthy apparently wouldn't bury it. In other words, Gaetz wanted to get a jab in, but you can't actually hear him on TV. The only part you can hear on TV is the part that McCarthy says about a minor and Matt Gaetz. And the worst part, this was all completely avoidable. This was a completely unforced error by Matt Gaetz. But because he was just that desperate to attack McCarthy, instead he unwittingly made sure that the entire CNN audience knew about an investigation against him. Bravo, Matt. Bravo. And to that point, since Matt Gaetz is just that desperate to inform the viewers about his ethics complaint, let's use this opportunity to discuss what's happening as of now. Just last month, ABC News reported that a witness had told investigators for the House Ethics Committee that Matt Gaetz paid her via Venmo for sex. I should note that the woman was not identified by ABC News, and we don't know her age at the time the payment was made. It also remains to be seen what the implications are of the legality of paying for sex, depending on what the factors are surrounding it. But the finding highlights one blinking red light for Matt Gaetz, that the House Ethics Committee is taking its obligation to investigate Gaetz seriously, and that Gaetz might have a major problem on his hands as the probe moves forward. According to ABC News, investigators have interviewed at least half a dozen women who allegedly attended parties where the Florida congressman was also present and who were paid by Joel Greenberg, Gaetz' one-time close friend. Greenberg was sentenced in 2022 to 11 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to multiple charges including sex trafficking a minor and introducing the minor to other adult men. Also in the article, in the interviews, which have previously not been reported, some witnesses have been shown Venmo payments they allegedly received from Gaetz and asked if those payments were for sexual activities. Some of the witnesses have been subpoenaed by the committee, while others agreed to cooperate according to the sources. And of course, with characteristic defiance, Gaetz has responded to this news by posting, "The House Ethics Committee has cleared 4 probes into me, which emerged from lies intended solely to smear me. Instead of working with me to ban congressional stock trading, the Ethics Committee is now opening new frivolous investigations. They are doing this to avoid the obvious fact that every investigation into me ends the same way, my exoneration. This is Soviet. Kevin McCarthy showed them the man, and they are now trying to find the crime. I work for Northwest Floridians who won't be swayed by this nonsense, and McCarthy and his goons know it." Of course, the jab at McCarthy should come as no surprise, given McCarthy's comments about Gaetz regarding this very topic.
But you want Gaetz to lose. Clearly, you're supporting his primary opponent. Why do you want him out? Just because, is it simply because he led the charge to push you out?
No, I just don't think Gaetz is a conservative. I mean, and if you think about it, if there's anybody who should go to trial, I mean, Gaetz is one who should be convicted in a trial.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, we all know the challenge here. You can't sleep with underage women and think you can get away with it. I mean,
he denies that.
Well, the women don't, and so there's people in jail because of it, and I think that's a place that people should have a court. I just don't think that as an individual should be represented in Congress.
You made a lot of concessions in the negotiations.
No, I didn't. Okay,
is that
let's get to the bottom of that.
Right?
That is such a misnomer in life. Let me give you the truth about that now. And I'll give you the truth why I'm not Speaker. It's because one person, a member of Congress, wanted me to stop an ethics complaint because he slept with a 17-year-old. An ethics complaint that started before I ever became Speaker, and that's illegal, and I'm not going to get in the middle. Did he do it or not? I don't know. But ethics is looking at it. There's other people in jail because of it. And he wanted me to influence it. And you know what? So then they come out and they say, because I kept government open. I'd do it all over again. We're not going to pay our troops? No, I'm going to pay my troops. You can't do the job? Okay. When it comes to the concession, the motion to vacate about one person being able to make that motion, how long has that been in the rules? Forever. The only time it was changed is when Pelosi became Speaker the second time.
And it wasn't just McCarthy either. Here's another Republican calling out Gaetz publicly.
Look, the House is a rough and rowdy place, but Mike Johnson is going to be just fine. I served 20 years in the military. It's my absolute honor to be in Congress, but I served with some real scumbags. Look, Matt Gaetz, he paid minors to have sex with him at drug parties. Bob Good endorsed my opponent, a known neo-Nazi. These people used to walk around with white hoods at night. Now they're walking around with white hoods in the daytime.
And look, I obviously can't predict what the House Ethics Committee is going to do, and I will note for posterity again that the Justice Department opted not to charge Gaetz, which I suppose shouldn't come as a surprise at the hands of Merrick Garland's DOJ, whose entire MO is placing optics above actually upholding the law without fear or favor. But still, there's an expression that comes to mind while listening to Gaetz's frenetic denials. A hit dog will holler. So while this investigation into Gaetz will continue, I wouldn't be surprised to see Gaetz ramp up his attacks against whoever he views as responsible, including people like Kevin McCarthy. It's worth noting that when it comes to revenge, Gaetz pulls no punches. As I mentioned before, he was unilaterally responsible for McCarthy losing his speakership. He also literally outed his Republican colleague who criticized him and his antics by claiming during a live broadcast that his colleague was, quote, living a lie. And so obviously, Gaetz isn't unwilling to wield any weapons he views as being at his disposal in an effort to control the narrative. It is the politics of fear from a principal mouthpiece of the party of politics of fear. And these tactics aren't just cause for alarm unto themselves, but also because this is the kind of behavior that's rewarded by promotions in today's Republican Party. In fact, here's Matt Gaetz himself threatening the prospect of him becoming Attorney General.
I don't ascribe to the theory that we just have to surrender sending criminal referrals because somehow Merrick Garland will never prosecute them. For many of the crimes that we are observing, the statute of limitations is 5 years. And so we could send criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. We go take the White House back, and you never know, David, it may be an Attorney General Matt Gaetz down the road or someone of my liking who will be there to actually enforce the law and provide the accountability, not just the vision, but the actual accountability. The people that are sending you those messages deserve that in a free and just and constitutional republic.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely do. And I like that. I like that. Attorney General Matt Gaetz. Are you kidding me? Man.
The world is not ready, probably. Certainly Senate confirmation wouldn't be. But, you know,
well, we're getting
a
there.
Boy can dream.
We're getting there. You can dream, and we gotta start with taking back the White House.
And if you think for a second that Matt Gaetz is too extreme for Trump, let me be perfectly clear. Gaetz is 100% in line with the rest of Trump's far-right, Christo-fascist, extremist picks. And by the way, these threats and tactics by Gaetz shouldn't come as a surprise, given the extent to which Republicans have had success governing by fear. This is their playbook now. They will destroy anything and anyone in their path in an attempt to keep or expand their own power. Just look at Trump himself. He's proven that he will attack anyone, no matter how much they gave up for him, if they so much as look at him in the wrong way. Just a few months back, Lindsey Graham came out against Trump's pretend stance, saying that abortion is a state's issue, only for Trump to take to Truth Social and write, "I blame myself for Lindsey Graham because the only reason he won in the great state of South Carolina is because I endorsed him." Or take Ronna McDaniel, who was such a blatant supplicant for Donald Trump that she literally removed Romney from her own last name in deference to Trump, only to then be unceremoniously and publicly discarded as RNC chair. It is about naked power and ambition at all costs and nothing more. And the only thing more pathetic than these sycophants falling in line at Trump's feet is their inability to recognize that they will be summarily discarded the moment they lose their usefulness to him. So it remains to be seen what the House Ethics Committee, which to be clear is led by Republicans, uncovers with regard to Matt Gaetz. But in the meantime, good on Matt Gaetz for doing his part to make sure that this issue really gets into the spotlight. Because if he wants to ensure that more Americans know why he's feuding with Kevin McCarthy on national TV no less, then far be it from me to stand in his way. I've got a really exciting announcement. I've written a book. It's called Shameless. This book explores how Republicans have exploited their historical branding while attacking our democracy, how the media has proven itself a willful participant, and how Democrats can learn from this to rebalance the political scales and save our democracy. It has been a lifelong dream of mine to write my own book, and so I'd like to ask you to pre-order it by clicking the link right here on the screen. And if you buy within this pre-order period, your book is going to come with a signed nameplate. As you know, I've never had a single sponsor on my channel. I don't ask for money or anything like that, but if you're looking for a way to support me, this is hands down the best way to do it. So again, follow the link right here on the screen, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for pre-ordering Shameless. And as always, make sure to subscribe to see more of my content.